and welcome to This Week in Bitcoin. Boy, oh boy, did a lot of stuff happen this week. So let's get stuck in right away. News number one are Bitcoin's immense comeback performance. And again, just like it happened in the past, Bitcoin has risen from the ashes like a phoenix. At the time of recording, one Bitcoin hovers around 93,500-ish US dollars. And that's a significant performance compared to the last previous weeks, where we were mostly hovering between 78 and maybe $82,000. The reasons for this are quite simple. Bitcoin has established more and more a status as a safe haven asset. Why is that important? See, in an economical environment where tariff wars are going on, uncertainty is rising, the Fed is going against the US president, and they somehow want to fire each other, and no one is actually knowing what the hell is happening. M2 is expanding, but no one really knows how to invest. You look for assets that are a safe bet, hence the name safe haven asset. You park it there, and you wait everything out. Traditionally speaking, this has been done with gold. And as you can see, gold is ripping. Congratulations to all the gold bucks. You now know how it feels if you reach a new all-time high on an almost daily basis. And Bitcoin seems to be the backup of that. I would argue it's actually the better performer, but we need to wait in the long run to see that play out. And people are really using Bitcoin just like gold as a hedge against these uncertain times. It's not just me saying this. You have various clips of Bloomberg TV and all of the financial media stating this. And everyone is sort of shocked again why Bitcoin is performing nicely, how it's working. Does the scarcity thing have something to do with it? And at the end of the day, all of these questions can be answered with yes. And it is performing incredibly well because it is a store of value and a safe haven asset for many investors. And it seems like that status has also caught on, as I mentioned, with these news where M2 money supply is expanding. The Fed is really going against the president. They don't want to intervene currently, but they will look into options in the future. And people are just looking for an escape out of that madness. And one escape, or one way to do this, could be to actually form a Bitcoin bank where you have more easy access for regular folks who don't want to do the whole self-custody thing. On that note, the self-custody bet is always the better bet because at the end of the day, you are in full control and you don't need to trust a third party. But we'll get into that in a few seconds. Cantor Fitzgerald, along with Tether, Bitfinex, and SoftBank, has announced that they have raised over 200 million in previous months and that they've now established the 21 Capital company. The idea behind this company is to offer a Bitcoin escape for banks, for institutional investors, and to also use Bitcoin on the balance sheet. Together, they pulled roughly $3 billion and will use that as an initial starting point in their Bitcoin reserve. Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary in the US, has also announced that they are going to issue convertible notes and bonds to also further raise more capital in the future and buy Bitcoin with it. In previous interviews, he also said that he's going to actually buy the Bitcoin the moment it dips all the time. And the 21 Capital is really there to actually serve two needs. To A, push the institutional adoption with Bitcoin on the balance sheet forward. And on the other hand, to obviously also make strategic investments into the ecosystem, into mining, and all of these things alike. Very interesting in that whole consideration is SoftBank, because SoftBank actually did commit 200 million in Bitcoin at the top in 2017 to later sell it for 130 million loss. So I still had some Bitcoin. And now they are trying to revamp themselves because the last decade hasn't really been that much of a performance enhancer for SoftBank because, you know, they had investments like WeWork and other stuff where they basically just lost money. This is a significant push in Bitcoin. And as I stated, it goes against the idea of having peer-to-peer money. However, having institutional adoption and them coming up with their own way of Bitcoin was a little bit inevitable. Good news is, as I stated, if you want to hold Bitcoin properly, all you need to do is to actually hold proper Bitcoin in your self-custody wallet and you are golden. And with that, we're at the end of this week in Bitcoin. You know the drill. If you got questions, feedback, or just want to say hello, leave me a comment below. And I look forward to seeing you next week again.